Yep.
Hey
So
everybody.
I ever since I beat Hollow Knight, I've been just obsessed with the lore because it's really cryptic. The game. It's a great game though. If you haven't played it, this is my plug-in for Hollow Knight. Close my door.
So shout out to Hollow Knight. Everyone buy a copy.
Yeah, get a copy. It's only $15, and it's one of the few games that I will say. Whereas in the age where you pay $20 for a game, you get 30 seconds of content. It's one of the few games I will say that is worth probably more than what it's priced. They
Mm,
probably undersold their game a lot.
good bang for your buck.
For real. It's only $15. I would have sold it for 20-25, to be honest. And it would have been fair.
So it's been a little while since we went live together, huh?
What can I even play a game on? Okay, right now, yeah, things look a little bit different since we last went live because it's been a
We've been
little
through a
while.
lot, yeah.
We've all been through a lot. You're probably seeing a different location for each of us, of course.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah. Where are you right now, Tim?
You know what?
we're gonna start with my situation because we'll start with the bad news, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing. Of course, that was my fault, but there was an eviction situation
Mm.
at the apartment. Not just me, several people. So we're all out, and I'm just, I'm figuring things out. I'm visiting some friends here in my vehicle, just trying to make ends meet. It's been a few days, but
Sleeping in your
we're waiting
car,
for that
yeah.
text back. We're waiting. Well, just for the time being, just naps, work when I'm on the move.
Yeah, the goddamn big.
But it's been fine. But it's been fine.
Yeah,
What
it's a
about yourself?
bohemian
I mean,
lifestyle, yeah.
I think the goddamn big
usual
guns.
posters.
Whoa, hang on, Tim. Enough of your plight. We got a visitor here.
More important, you're right.
This is more
Continue.
important. No. Show us our special guest.
This is Soul the kitten.
Wow, it'd be nice if we could look at him.
Oh my bad. Trying to get this droid cam together.
Oh, now we're talking.
What's up, Soul? Alright, what were you saying? I was trying to do a bit that I don't know if it came off that
It's
well.
probably miserable with that thing on its neck.
Like to accessorize.
It's okay. She just has an eating herself problem. She likes to eat a lot of hair of herself and make a lot of hairballs. So to avoid cleaning up a lot of bullshit, because hairballs are disgusting. They're not like in the cartoons. It's basically them shitting out of their mouth. So
Yeah,
we
it's
try
like
to,
vomit, but just with fur.
yeah, and smells like fucking vomit plus shit. So we
Oh
kind of
yeah.
avoid that. Yeah, that's one thing I found out. I'm not a dog. I'm a dog person now. Revolutionized to be a hybrid. I appreciate both,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
people don't tell you. The cat people won't tell you. Dogs smell nicer than cats. Cats can
Yeah.
stink like a motherfucker.
Dogs are dirty, but cats are disgusting. Yeah.
You hear that? You're disgusting.
Get them out of here.
Litter box situation.
I
Can't
don't
they
want
be
to look
trained?
at it.
Install some kind of door that they can
Here,
go
sit on
outside.
my desk.
Yeah.
Why the litter box? It makes your entire place smell.
Yeah, you know what?
Excuse me,
Better
excuse
yet,
me,
just keep it
excuse me.
outside.
All right. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to stomp
Outside,
on the
but not gonna
conversation.
keep it like-
No, it's okay. Tim's homeless.
Oh, I could have
He was trying
figured.
to
Could
tell
have
us.
figured.
I'm figuring my situation out. I'm between homes.
Oh, not homeless. This trans home.
Between living situations. There was an incident.
An incident.
You,
What was
you
the
all are in
incident?
different locations. Of course, your witness protection ass, just putting that on the live.
I just had to. That's one thing I said. I'll go in witness protection. I saw something I shouldn't have seen, but I need my setup. I need to make this podcast. I need to make this music. I need to be able to make this video, and I need this cat. Those are my only two stipulations.
That's the thing. Josh, he
Does the
witnessed
cat need that
something.
thing
He
on
needs
its neck?
protecting. Now he's in an undisclosed location, but he's still bringing you to the show. That's how much he cares about you guys. I'm suffering too. I'm in sunny southern Florida. Um, uh,
Florida?
I'm a bit of a seaman, I guess you could say, because I've survived a Category 5 hurricane. That's right. I feel like a real seaman right now. That's what they call him, right? Like a man of the sea,
Yeah, one of them
Fuck you, good.
an
salty
ocean
seamen.
master. One of them salty seamen. We were we're on the east coast of Florida, so we were spared the bad destruction. So when it was going by us, it didn't sound. It wasn't a 5 when it was in our path. We were in probably like a 1 or 2 by the time it hit us. It made landfall on the Gulf side around Fort Myers, Punta Gorda, pretty much destroyed them. And here there was a knocked over light post. There were lots of leaves.
Yeah.
Uh, there was a tornado, but I was like, oh, tornadoes. We know that.
Yeah, the tornado, we got that shit down where we from.
No basements here, though. No basements here in Florida. It's too wet. So I slept in a closet on an air mattress, an interior wall. The wind is loud. Turns out wind can be very, very loud. You've got these things on the windows called storm shutters. They're these metal things. You shut them, and then you just kind of sit in the dark for a day while the wind sounds like a train. And that's about it. We lost power for Thursday. We were without power for about 24 hours, and then they got it back on. It was just rainy and very windy Thursday, and ever since the storm passed, it's been beautiful. It's been beautiful here.
Well, see, sometimes
Oh, really?
that's pretty much life imitates art, art imitates life type of thing. Sometimes you need to go through the ugly to get to the beautiful, and sometimes you realize how beautiful ugliness can be through something like that. Through category 1 and 2 around that area. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
4
it
and
makes
5
you
and 6.
appreciate the good weather.
and yeah, like and it's still under debate if this was even like a you know, is it a hurricane? Is it a tropical storm? Is it a typhoon? Is it a water,
It's a
a,
hurricane.
oh, it,
Hey,
well,
if we're gonna
We know
apples
once.
to oranges, we're gonna
well, we really didn't even talk to the supposed hurricane for what it wants to be categorized. Like, I'm just not on the
It's
team of
like
just assuming thing. I'm not on the team of assuming. That's all I'm saying. I like to do my research. I like to get my
let's hear from
facts
Ian. Let's
straight.
hear from
first
Hurricane
hurricane.
Ian.
Hurricane Ian was the first hurricane to hit that side of Florida for the first time in a century. So you consider yourself lucky, is all I'm saying. And maybe I had something to do with it.
Yeah, I was thrilled. It starts out as a tropical depression.
Mm.
Could call me tropical depression, depressed here
So
like tropics.
is that like getting
Depression.
sad while like drinking out of a coconut?
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
It's like you're on the beach, but you're sad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
makes sense.
exactly.
Yeah.
World
It's like
problems.
listening to Lana Del Rey and
Lana Del
drinking
Rey
a pina
on the
colada.
beach. Lana Del Rey featuring Sean Kingston type of vibes.
So it starts out as a tropical depression, and you're like, okay, we get a lot of storms here this time of year, no big deal. And then they name it, and you're like, oh shit, okay, that's not good. Um,
Yeah, I like how we're like,
so
oh shit, that might kill us. Let's give it a name. Let's
yeah. So they give it a friendly name. Um, but yeah, we were lucky, and so for a while in the weather, they're like, "It's gonna miss you guys. It's gonna miss you guys. It's just gonna be the Panhandle. We think it's gonna go this way." There's a European model that says it's gonna go this way, but it's
what the
probably
fuck does
wrong.
Europe
And that
know
was
about
the
our hurricanes?
right. Like, who do they think they are? They don't even get them. But it turns out Europe was right, and they're usually right, because that's the exact path it went. And
Nosy
so,
asses.
yeah, we didn't know where to go. We were like, should we fly out of here? And all the locals are like, whatever, this happens.
I mean, yeah, you
So
kind of have to sign that contract when you go to live in Florida in that
it's the
area. Like, you're
price.
gonna get a hurricane once every 3 or 4 years, probably.
Yeah, yeah, major one. And for this area, it wasn't a direct hit off the Atlantic. So yeah, yeah, we were fine. We weren't like Sanibel Island, which got a real beating from Ian. And then Ian, when it passed us, went out to the Atlantic, became a hurricane again, and hit Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So he came for two.
Damn.
Yeah.
Not the Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he crosses Florida, leaves, goes back into the Atlantic. He's like, I'm getting a second wind, literally. Then he's like, F South Carolina, F
Back
North
right
Carolina.
now.
Yes, well, he mostly moved through yesterday, so I think it should be pretty much gone. Just a lot of rain.
I don't
You know,
trust
could
that
get
shit.
hit
I don't trust that
for
shit with.
Indiana.
To Indiana?
Do you think there's a chance that Indiana could be hit by this?
Well, Indiana isn't on the ocean.
Sounds promising.
You're an idiot. That's just.
Well, that's cemented in fact.
I'm worried.
I mean, I never
Yeah,
trusted the storms to begin with, so you know me, miss me with that storm shit is what I say, man.
Savior. You know, some kind of hero.
Yeah, if only you know what? That's funny. That's funny if you think about it. We're about to talk about superheroes and shit. Superheroes
Right.
never stop natural disasters. There's
They
never
really don't.
there's never been a movie about like the Avengers stopping Hurricane Ian.
You're right, because you think about it, like, has a villain done anything as bad as Hurricane Katrina?
Yeah, they like crack cities, but they don't. But apparently, like they can't stop tornadoes or provide tornado relief. There's never a story or comic strip about that.
Yeah, them rebuilding houses and making sure people get their power and water back.
I'm just saying, how does Habitat
Yeah.
for Humanity exist when the Avengers exist? Is all I'm saying. There's definitely is a thing. Like I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
No, I can't say that for sure. But I felt like in the new Spider-Man series that there was some sort of charity. No, there wasn't. I'm making that up. That was when they went to Paris.
that was Far From Home, yes.
Yeah,
Well, and what's his
with
name?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
He could make illusions of storms, and there is the X-Men Storm, but she makes storms. How about we have a superhero that makes them go away? That's
Maybe
what I
she's
think.
responsible for all this shit. Maybe she gets bored and is like, fuck those people, and summons Hurricane Ian, and then cracks
To
a
be
beer.
honest with you, I know like we're supposed to think that people who outlaw the X-Men are the bad guys, but if you think about it in real life, like if there's just a dude like walking around who's like, "Yeah, I shoot death rays out of my eyes," he'd be like, maybe we should regulate you. Like,
Yeah, for real.
yeah,
You know,
like maybe we should monitor.
I've seen the boys. It's not easy.
That's true. That's true. It is complicated.
I watched Invincible, so I get
another. Yeah, but we're talking about
What are we
neither of
thinking? We're
those.
thinking
it.
a light one for Invincible.
You said a light
talking-
one.
A light one for Invincible, maybe.
Shout out.
Just kidding. It was pretty good. I like that creator Robert Kirkman, creator of The Walking Dead.
I like how he fucking beat the shit out of his fucking own son. Spoilers.
I like how there's a
Likes
whole
that,
genre
folks,
of
and he
like,
can't
hey, what
take
if
that one.
Superman was a bad guy?
Yeah.
They're like, that hasn't been done before. But we're talking about a good guy. We're talking about a good superhero. One who's, I dare say, relatable to a 20-something group of guys like us.
They're
Just
outside
normal
a lot
guys.
in August, when it gets hot, around this time of year, they'll be very active.
Who are you talking about? You're cutting out.
Spiders. Oh, I'm
Spiders.
cutting
We
out?
do get a
Yeah,
lot
a
of
little
those.
We go to a lot of those in August.
I'm talking about the goddamn arachnid boy. I'm talking about the goddamn 8-legged freak himself. Goddamn Spider-Man.
With 2 legs.
With 2 legs and no pupils, folks.
The arms as legs.
All right.
We got all of them.
Yeah, we got all of them. We got all of them. All right.
I don't know if Venom... I mean, it's in the world, but I don't know if this counts as a Spider-Man movie, but we can talk about it, too.
We'll get to that. I think
Yeah.
we should start with the one that started it all.
This bullshit?
2002's Excuse me.
I mean,
Pretty good movie.
I mean, yeah. What do you guys think about the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man? The original Spider-Man.
Not as good as 2. Pretty fun. Better than 3. I would put it in. Sure.
Great.
I know a lot of people love it. Some people would consider it great. It's a very cheesy one. As a kid,
for great with great power comes great responsibility. For that alone, it gets a great.
what do you think, Josh?
I think that it's not memorable. I think I've seen this movie 2 or 3 times. Don't remember goddamn one fucking thing in it. So I mean, it's probably cool because it started it all off. I can't say that it's bad because I at least remember it for that.
It's not.
So I agree with you. It belongs in sure or great.
Here's the thing about it. It really, the Sam Raimi ones, in my opinion, really feel like comic books. Except one that feels really like a comic book, which we'll get to.
James Franco and
James
Tobey
Franco.
Maguire.
Well,
Their
it's
big collaboration.
he's got a great style. I love how New York is such a big part of it, the personality of the city.
They're like, "Hey, I'm Spider-Man here,"
Yeah, exactly. He's like, hey, pizza, New York.
and Tobey Maguire is doing that. His face, his
Yeah.
face is great.
Ultra vulnerable. You got Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin. Really good.
I
Speaking
just-
of Invincible.
Oh, wait, hang on, Tim. What was that?
I just think it's what, huh?
Oh,
Me?
Tim said something.
Oh,
but
go
it
ahead.
cut off.
Who's up to speak here? Is it me?
Yeah.
I was mentioning J.K. Simmons. Shout out to J.K. Simmons, also in Invincibles. It's just a hero all the way through. Guys, I'm Spider-Man.
He actually looks like how he does in Invincible, too. How Omni-Man looks. Yeah.
Omni-Man is like jacked. What's his name?
J. Jonah Jameson.
J.
Yeah.
Jonah Jamenheimer. Yeah.
J. Jonah Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Schmidt.
Yeah,
His name
anyway.
is Mike.
I think
But how about 2 then? How about now on to 2?
I think 2's
What
the
do you
GOAT.
Go.
Did you have something else to say about the first one, Dom? I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, really, everything good about the first one, I really can say about Spider-Man 2, because I think it does everything in the first one, but better. I think...
Not a lot of sequels can live up to the height of the first, but Spider-Man 2 really signifies that sequels do sometimes break from the glass ceiling and trump above the first. This one at least gets a great for me, possibly a classic. And what an actor! Go ahead. No, but go ahead.
Oh, me or Josh? Because I was just going to say, what I like about this one is that even though it's not the most action-packed movie, it tells a really human story. It's about burnout, basically. He can't be Spider-Man. He's got the yips, you know? He's like, my power stopped working. And there isn't, like, a real complicated story. It's just a human thing. It's like, you're too stressed. You can't do it. It's like a metaphor for, like, you know...
Erectile
like
dysfunction.
That, too. You're just like, I can't do it. He's like, but, you know, you're overworked.
I can't get my dick hard. Ain't that right, Soul? That's
overheated.
I mean, like, this one was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. From what I remember, great villain, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Great plot.
Doc Ock.
Doc Ock. This also had the whole, like, is Mary Jane my friend or my lover type thing going on. Tobey Maguire really shines here.
Yeah.
He really shines here.
This movie is a good movie, from what I've been told, because I've never seen it.
What?
Dun, dun. I've only seen the ending a million times on Spike, but other than
Yeah,
that,
they used to show it on TV all the time.
all the time. I've never really seen it all in one sitting.
Oh, yeah, you should. Yeah, it's a good... I mean, you got to know what it is going. Like the first one, it's a little goofy, you know, it's very much, you know, comic book world. But if you roll with the style, I think it's terrific.
Okay. But I hear nothing but good things about it. Even to this day, everyone always talks about that one.
Well,
so
Right.
Here's the thing: I'm not trying to raise your expectations too high. You know, don't come in like sky high, because you know you may not vibe with it as much as some people do. A big part of it is I saw it at the perfect age. I was 10 years old. You know, it was one of my first real superhero movies.
Yeah, the double digits.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's when your brain starts
Spoiler.
working.
Yeah, you start really appreciating art.
Yep. So moving
All right.
on, Spider-Man 3. I know this splits the
Oh,
community.
it does because it's a mixed movie. I think it's fun, but it's kind of bad. I'd put it in like sure because I mean that's where I would put it because
Yeah.
undeniably parts of this movie just don't work. It's it's got too many villains going on. The whole plot's shoehorned in. At the time, I thought the emo Peter Parker stuff was too goofy. I think it's hilarious now,
Yeah.
but it's almost just slightly almost too goofy, even for these movies.
But I love that about it.
I like it too, but
It's Spider-Man
fundamentally,
3. Fuck it.
I do.
yeah,
People don't
exactly.
talk about. I
We're
think a
getting
lot.
our bag.
I think a lot of people like to talk a lot about the goofy Spider-Man 3 transition into him being this
Hmm.
edge lord, but a lot of people don't talk about before the transition, when he was
Yeah,
just that scene with him versus Sandman where he's mean as fuck and he says good riddance and stuff like that after
yeah,
he commits murder. You know, like those are the things that people don't talk about enough, I think, that redeem the movie if it was in a bad category, if you ask me. There's a lot of good scenes in there. There's a lot of
there
good
is.
moments
Yeah.
in there. My one of my favorite moments are Mary Jane being jealous that Spider-Man is doing his job, and then her bitch ass
Yeah.
because she's focusing on that loses her job. And it taught me always, even as a kid, I realized like, yeah, that's right. Why don't you just focus on your own shit? And that taught me always is focus on yourself. In Spider-Man
Yeah.
3, there's a lot more lessons than that than people want to give it credit for. So just give it another watch if you think it's a bad movie. Ignore all the
Yeah.
memes in your head while you
Well,
watch
Ignore
it.
him. Ignore him.
Ignore them.
yeah. Or embrace them.
Yeah, or embrace them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sandman's good. The fight with Harry is good. Uh, you know, it gets complicated in their relationship too. He's finally got Mary Jane. Now she's jealous of Gwen Stacy. You know, played by Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yep.
And
Everybody knows
so
about
this is a
her.
funny thing. Yeah, 'cause she's got a fat ass. But
Yep.
mm. So she's a redhead in real life, and Kristen Dunst is blonde, but they swap their hair colors in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a fun
Yeah.
fact for you.
Symbolic.
And
Yeah, but I like Spider-Man 3. It's not great, but I like it.
okay, so and then
Shoehorn.
just like we just took a break, the series took a break, and
Hmm.
then they got this young man known as Andrew Garfield to don the suit just to keep the rights under Sony. Um, the Amazing Spider-Man series was born.
Yeah, and I think people are hard
Fuck.
on this one. I think it's all right. Uh, I don't like all the decisions they made, but some I think really work. What about you guys?
I
I don't
think
know if I liked it as much, only because I was biased from liking the first Toby or Sam Raimi one so much,
I know what you mean.
and
They came so
and
soon
so
after, it felt
only
like.
seen this a couple times. No, I did see this in theaters, and I do remember having a pretty good time. The
Hmm.
fight scene at the end is particularly good with the lizard man, whatever
Hmm.
his name is.
The lizard.
Um, oh well, perfect.
the Lizard Man is his
All
father.
I said.
The lizard.
Lizard Man versus Spider Man. But it was good. It was a good fight. I'm not gonna hate. And the scene with what's the creator? See, now I'm blanking on his name. Um,
Mr. Leo Stan.
Mr. Stan Lee. In the library, not hearing the fight behind him was a great moment, and for that,
That was a funny
sure.
cameo. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I just personally don't like Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man.
I'm surprised to
So
hear that. I thought you were a field defender.
I think Andrew Garfield's a great actor. He's a cool actor, but that's one problem is that
He's
Spider-Man's
too
not
cool.
cool. Yeah, Spider-Man is not cool as a person. He's
That's the problem with this movie and his casting. He's like a 6 foot tall skateboarding photographer who gets no bitches. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's the only part that's not believable about that whole
like
description. Like he doesn't get women.
Reality.
yeah, like Tobey Maguire's not bad looking, but he's really awkward.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing with Tom Holland. Not trying to get ahead of myself, but same thing with Tom Holland. He has the same.
Right.
I see why girls like me, but I also see why I wouldn't get pussy.
Right, because he's such a like a baby face. I would put it. I don't know. Sure. Yeah,
Sure.
because background noise feels a little harsh.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I feel like to retroactively go, I think we should put the first Spider-Man in great. Josh, I know you don't remember it so much, but I
This
feel
one right
like
here.
just among its status, yeah, because I do
All
feel
right.
like it belongs one rung above three.
Okay. I hear that. I
Um,
hear that.
but here's the thing about Amazing Spider-Man 2. A lot of people consider that one the bad one. And I don't know where you guys stand on it. I don't think any of the Spider-Man movies are that bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I come to find that. Well, we're first of all in the age of internet, we hate things a lot more than we like them. So I
Yeah.
also don't take the negative opinion too much to my own opinion when I hear it. Because I remember seeing this in theaters and not necessarily thinking, oh, this is bad, but I remember thinking, like, I think I remember moments of, like, this is going on too long. The guy who plays the Green Goblin sucked as an actor. Like, I
Yeah.
forget his name, but his stick doesn't. His stick works in some roles. Like, he was really good in the movie Chronicle.
Chronicle. Yeah, he's
But
great in that.
yeah, but it's the
Because there's a
Green
little creep.
Goblin. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But as the Green Goblin, the way he just delivers lines, I was just like, you need to talk faster.
That actor is Dane DeHaan. And the
Dane
thing about
DeHaan.
him, Hollywood didn't know what to do with him because in Chronicle, he's basically like a school shooter type
Yeah.
kid. Like a quiet kid who's bullied and like it doesn't have a healthy outlet. It's got anger problems, and he's great in that. But in Spider-Man, he could have worked, but you can't make the Green Goblin like a 20-year-old kid. Like it should be a man, especially like Willem Dafoe. Like Willem Dafoe is scary on his own.
With yeah, but when he starts talking to himself in the mirror, it gets a
Oh
lot scary.
yeah, and that's why. And now I will say, Jamie
Scream.
Foxx's Electro is goofy, but I think he knows he's in a comic book movie, and he still brings it. You know,
Yeah.
like he's still like, okay, I'm gonna give it my all, and the design's kind of fun. The music is weird though. in this
The
one.
music is very weird in this. They try to remix like the Itsy Bitsy Spider at one point
Yeah,
Nice.
with
That's
electric
creative.
beams.
Oh,
because
Right.
he's a spider.
oh.
Here's the thing I do defend in these Amazing Spider-Man movies, though, because even though we're talking about a lot that doesn't work in them, one thing I do like is that I think Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield have great chemistry together.
Yeah, they
Like
dated for real, didn't they?
they did, and you feel like they really, I don't know, it comes across in the movie. They really feel into each other.
So background noise.
Zendaya.
I agree. No, I
Oh,
think
okay.
that's fair.
Dating?
Zendaya, hot take, does not make a good Mary Jane for me. She's too
She's
cool for
basically
school.
She's kind of her like a new character. That's why
Yeah.
they call her. That's why they just call her MJ because I think her name is technically like Michelle Jones. So she's like MJ, but not Mary Jane.
Okay, that makes more sense because they also had another love interest that just went nowhere in the new reboot of Spider-Man Homecoming, I think.
Homecoming. Yeah,
Or
Liz.
yeah, for no reason.
Well, here's the thing.
See, I haven't seen any of these movies.
Oh wow,
You
you're
haven't.
missing out.
Going forward. Really?
So
Yeah.
here's the thing. I actually
except for-
like. Oh wait, so you've seen Homecoming?
No. I've seen only Into the Spider-Verse going forward. I haven't seen any of the Tom Holland ones. I just knew that he was dating Zendaya.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing. They don't date in the
Is that in
first
the movie?
Not in Homecoming, but there she likes him. She's a tsundere, basically.
Yeah, she waits. She
Oh,
waits.
now you're speaking my language.
She is. She's a tsundere. She like kind of makes fun of him, but not in a mean. teases him because he's awkward. Here's the thing. I guess Liz was a character from an old Spider-Man, and it was just kind of a generic love interest he had first. And so they made her a character and they played homage. I did like the twist. Tim, if you haven't seen it, I won't spoil it for you, but there is a pretty good twist with the girl he likes in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, I wouldn't think.
Josh knows what I'm talking about. You don't
Yep.
see it coming because of the casting.
Yeah, not at all.
But and also, Tom Holland is a good Spider-Man.
And shout out to Birdman.
Yeah, some people think he's the best.
Stan Lee thought.
I am one of them. I think that he gets the best because Tobey Maguire didn't have the personality of Spider-Man, but had the look.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Garfield had the personality of Spider-Man, but didn't have the look.
But not Peter Parker. Yeah.
But now they got it.
The balance. Well, and Tom Holland also feels like he's in high school. Maybe not now, but he then.
Yeah, he's not a good Nathan Drake, but he's a great Peter Parker.
I agree. He wasn't the right Nathan Drake, but Peter Parker, because he's such he's a baby face, he's short, and he's squirrely. He's good looking, but you could see why a guy like that isn't, like a Chad in high school.
To be honest, I know it's a little off topic, but just because I brought up that movie, it was really weird to see, first of all, Mark Wahlberg in it, but not as Nathan Drake. But if he's not going to be Nathan Drake, it's really weird Tom Hardy wasn't Nathan Drake. I don't know how the hell, who did the casting on that, but Tom Hardy should have been Nathan Drake. This time I'm looking at him.
That movie was like peak mid. That was like...
I didn't even see it.
To be honest, actually, it was background noise. It's fine. It's not a bad watch, but you're like, that wasn't good. But it was entertaining enough. There's some fun, puzzle stuff, but yeah, he wasn't the right choice.
Uncharted? You guys play that one?
Nah,
I only played a demo.
I missed that in the 360 era.
Actually,
I did too.
The first two. And
Oh,
so
yeah?
I can say I'm not even interested in this movie because Sully doesn't look like.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely Tom Holland doesn't look like Nathan Drake. I'm sorry.
At all.
No.
I'm sorry
So-
about that.
Sorry.
They can't even get Jake Gyllenhaal? Come on, bro. And I'm looking at Jake Gyllenhaal. This was just found, just looking around, I found... Even this fucking, whoever... Is that...
Cumberbatch.
Yeah, just looking at him.
Right.
But
a man, not a kid. Yeah.
But anyway, this is not... Maybe we should make that, bad video game movies, or video game movies in general, but...
We should talk about that,
yeah. But Spider-Man Homecoming, I think it was pretty great. I was really entertained.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's classic, but...
No, I don't either, but I think it's probably the best of the Marvel ones, personally. But
I hear that, yeah. Because I think that the one that they just came out with, No Way Home, is probably the best.
Of the new ones, I can see why a lot of people liked that one, but I'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Let's go back to... What were you saying?
I was just going to say, I like that he's, truly in high school in that one. He feels like he's in high school.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though, before we get to, all the... He is a great Spider-Man, but my problem with Avengers Spider-Man is that this kid has already, not at this point yet, but he's, an Avenger more than a street-level hero, before. He's backed by Tony Stark. His suit is super high-tech. And to some sense, he has to be, so he can, go against Thanos and stuff. But I think part of the charm of Spider-Man is just that he's, a poor kid who, had to make his costume at home and hold a job down.
Flashing back to that first suit that Tobey Maguire had in the wrestling match. It was just pajamas. It was basically just some pajamas.
Yeah, I feel that, but for me, I feel like it's a nice take on this different story of, the guy who has nothing and has to, make his suit and make his little gadgets. It's I like how they play with that throughout so far through the trilogy of the remakes. That it's not like they shy away from that fact. Tony Stark tells him all the time, you're doing this and you pretty much know you can call on me if things get tough. It's not going to always be that way. Don't call me anymore. He says, you're using this technology too much. You're not training. I think in the newest one, Doctor Strange made a huge... he made a huge deal about his discipline. He's obviously... I like how they're not ignoring that he's been giving a pretty nice starter pack, and it's affecting him as becoming a hero. Like, he feels like more like he's taking the celebrity side of being with the Avengers rather than the responsibility side. And now that, you know, Tony Stark is dead and the Avengers are reshaping and rebuilding, he's battling with this concept of actually becoming a hero. And I think it's a nice
like
different
that.
spin on the Spider-Man struggle.
Well, it's a Spider-Man who is in a world without a lot of superheroes, where the other Spider-Man, he's the only superhero in that world, you know?
Right, exactly.
So,
Collabs
what
with other
came next? Was it Venom, or was it?
I mean, Venom technically did come after this in the timeline, so we could talk about it now. I remember seeing this movie, and a funny story about this movie: Venom is one of my favorite Western media characters. I mean, fictional characters. I think it's a really cool design. I like the whole Venom, Carnage, Toxin family line and the storyline with that. That's why I've always wanted them to actually fucking get to Spider-Man to a level where we can actually put that on the big screen, because I love it. But they always seem to want to reboot, or it always collapse right around the time Venom is about to be introduced. So I went and I walked to the theater to see it. Funny enough, but it was all right. It wasn't like the best thing I've ever seen. I don't think it's as bad. I think that this Eminem song is what sets the tone for the movie, and a lot of people write it off because of that.
Right.
But I felt that they're having fun with Venom. I felt like they're having fun with just the concept of a guy being possessed by an alien symbiote. Like, it seemed like they really dived into that ridiculousness concept. So I don't know if this is necessarily the best, like, oh, we're cementing Venom in the world of Spider-Man movie, rather than, like, this is what the concept of Venom is movie. So it depends on what you want from the movie, I guess.
Tim, did you see it?
No, I did not. Not this one either. But it's a fresh take on the classic villain. Yeah, I like this villain too. You know, a deep dive into Eddie What's His Face is great.
Deep dive.
Yeah, right.
You know, just but I like it the best for what you're talking about. It's not a superhero movie. It's more of like a parasite movie. Like, what would happen if this entity took you over, and what would the interactions be like?
And it's more of a comedy than people realize.
Yeah,
like it's goofy, and it's kind of
he talks.
Really, yeah, and it's not really great, but it is fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
I saw the second one. The second one sucks, but this one's not bad. I would put it in, like, I think it's mid, like good mid though. Like, I put it in sure.
Yeah, there's a weird like half step we can put in between. I know some tier lists you can do that, but I can't do that here. Right. So it's just gonna fall on the shore.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on.
Far From Home.
Far From Home.
Far From Home.
I remember this is kind of like an inside joke between me and my girlfriend with this movie, because I fucking hate JB Smoove, and he was in this movie a lot, and there's just something that we say now to each other all the time. I forget what fucking scene it was, but he basically comes from somewhere as Spider-Man, but switches really quick into being like Peter Parker, and I forget, some noise was happening, and then the chaperones were talking like what it could be. And JB Smoove grabs like some guy's shoulder and goes like, "I'm telling you, it was the witches." And he says he's saying witches or something, but he said witches like that. The witches. And so she still says that to me, and I just fucking break out laughing because I fucking hate JB Smoove. And it just reminds me of that moment every time. So, but other than that,
I don't mind it, but.
I don't know why I hate JB Smoove. I just don't like how he talks, I guess. And get me canceled for that, but or whatever.
I don't like his voice.
I just don't like his voice, man.
You know, everybody's got their own opinion, and I'm sure JB Smoove would understand.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't give a fuck what I think, because he got paid a fat rack to say the witches in Spider-Man Far From Home.
He got that Caesar Sportsbook money. He's fine.
Yeah.
He talks like his mouth is full.
Mm-hmm.
He does.
Like, his mouth is always full. Like,
Like they said, and action while he was eating some of the set peanuts, and he's just said, "Fuck it, I'm just
Like-
gonna try to keep it in the back of my mouth for the scene."
It sounds like he's eating like a bready sandwich.
Yeah.
There's a lot in there. Like he's like eating like big sub, and they're like action. It's like you want to swallow? Nope, nope, it's cool.
Yep. And now he has no water in his
Yeah,
mouth.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So it's just like
His face ass. So Far From
well, this
Home.
movie,
Yeah.
Tim,
What do you guys think?
it's
Friend of
pretty
the show.
fun. Here's the thing about this one. I think I give it. I pretty much think most of it works. Too much CGI. That's the thing about the Marvel stuff. But good villain. Really good villain, in my opinion. I think Jake Gyllenhaal does great. And the main thing I take points for, even though it's part of the fun of the movie, is that Spider-Man's such a New York guy, and in these movies, been in New York.
Yeah.
It's fun to see him in Europe, though. I don't mind it, and I think some people don't like how like quippy and goofy the Marvel movies are, but most of the humor works for me. It's fine. Maybe not all of it, but I think it's pretty fun. I don't think any of these movies are as emotional, like earnest as the Sam Raimi ones, but the acting's pretty good, and the characters have chemistry with each other, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I like it. It's maybe not quite as much as Homecoming, but I think close.
So maybe like a shore then, like it's a cool. Like, I
Same
kind of.
level as- Okay.
Yeah, I kind of felt
Yeah,
that
I think
vibe
that's
from
fair.
it. Like it when I saw it in theaters, it wasn't like knocking me out of the park. There were a lot of scenes where I was kind of like coasting mentally until it got to the next wham bam fighting scene. Like I
Yeah,
remember, I was like, kind of had this feeling because I feel like Infinity War was right on the horizon around this time, or just happened. So
It just happened.
so yeah, like you could tell because I always notice with Marvel they have 3 big targets every year where they put all their effort and money into, and 3 kind of like buffer movies in between those to keep the people coming, but not
He's got the
necessarily
formula figured out.
exactly like Morbius came out right after. I think the big Spider-Man movie came out, which was on the same level sales wise of Infinity War and stuff. And like, all right, here's Morbius, so we can still be in the lexicon of movies. Like
And
Marvel's
Evil
still there,
Morbius.
but we don't give a fuck if it fails or not.
Hard, though. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Thor Ragnarok came out, and like, but we care if this one fails or not. And then they always have one where
It's
they
one of their mainline ones.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it was just
Yeah.
weird because when I was watching it, I'm like, usually Spider-Man, that's a mainline thing always, but it
Right.
felt like Far From Home was one of the movies that they were like, we don't care if this
Kind of
fails
a
or not.
throwaway. Yeah.
With like, it's a kind of a in between.
Yeah, Spider-Man movies should feel like an event because they were when we so many superhero movies. Like after Avengers Endgame, a Spider-Man movie feels like quaint right after. It feels small, so you're like, yeah, it's fine. It'll make money.
Yeah, but it's just
Yeah.
weird because Homecoming didn't feel that way. The movie after that obviously didn't feel that way. So it was just odd, really odd. It was the first, other than Venom and shit like that, the first movie in the Spider-Man series that I felt like they didn't care too much if it succeeded or not. You can,
Yeah,
for me, you could tell in the writing and the shots, and but yeah.
No, I
Moving
agree.
on to the Infinity War level movie that I liked a lot.
Now,
That
I am
level?
probably a bit of a detractor on this one. I didn't dislike it, though, but I definitely didn't like it as much as other people because I think the other movie, Spider-Verse, did a similar concept way better. But I still liked it as fine. Like I said, I have never disliked a Spider-Man movie. I think it's solid, but I think it's a little bloated. I think, kind of like Spider-Man 3, it just has too many characters and certain emotional beats in it didn't quite hit for me. Do you know what I mean?
I hear that.
Yeah, and they did for a lot of other people though. I'm a bit of an outlier here. Here's the thing: I'm at a stage though. By the time I've seen this, I'm in a little bit of MCU fatigue because I've seen all the movies, and at this point, after seeing like 20 movies like this, like, all right, I think I need like a break. If I hadn't seen 20 Marvel movies before this and I had just seen those Spider-Man movies, I probably liked this a lot better. So a big part of my reaction to this is kind of like where I'm at with superhero movies right now.
I hear
But
that.
again,
One, right? Because it's new.
well, yes, it was very recent, but here's the thing that it's not a spoiler for you, Tim, right? Because we can say,
I know
Josh,
the big thing
Yeah.
about this movie, why it's Infinity War level.
the gang gets back together,
They get back
man,
together.
Yeah.
and that's
All
really
these
cool.
movies that we just talked about.
I'm not gonna lie, it was really cool to
It's like
see
the
all three
Infinity War
Spider-Man.
for all
Yeah,
three Spider-Men, and in a way saying, all right, we
But they
fucked up
met.
cinematically, but this is the big eraser mark on all of that, and
yep,
the beginning of a fresh, new, consistent Spider-Man. It was a nice
yep.
way
Put
to
together
see. It was a nice way to tie up the crazy history of Spider-Man that obviously isn't consistent,
Mhm.
obviously not one story, and obviously not calculated. To make
Right.
it feel and seem like it was.
It was a good out, and they do a cool way to reset it
Yeah.
at the end to kind of take him back to what we consider classic Spider-Man. So if you want to put it in grade, I don't mind.
I think
I
he'd
do.
be a great. And I
Sure, why
also
not?
liked,
I'm agreeing.
and
All
speaking
the
about,
executives came together. They said, "Hey, this one's for the Spider-Man."
and, a thing about this reboot, I also noticed it kind of ties even this movie, the animated movie, for me. I don't know how they're gonna continue Tom Hardy Spider Man, not Tom Hardy Spider Man, Tom Holland Spider Man.
Um, oh,
Um, but to me, he's starting to feel like more down the road of the Spider Man that Miles Morales teams up with.
mm-hmm.
Like even like I don't know if he's gonna continue to be this Batman style Spider-Man where like, oh, no one knows who I am, and that's fine.
Right.
But that's kind of reminded me of the story that the Spider-Man in this one that teams up with Miles is, because he's kind of like that, a loner. He kind of just
Yeah.
decided that I'm gonna just do the job. So in a way, even with that, I'm like, for my mind, it kind of ties back to this as well. So like that's a good
So I'm of
bravo,
the
good
opinion,
writing there.
for me, Spider-Verse is a classic. I think it
Yeah.
shares the top rung with two. I don't know how you guys feel, but I think this movie just kicks ass. It's beautiful. It is like a comic book on screen, literally. I love the characters, and like Josh said, it's a great portrayal of Miles. I didn't have a lot of familiarity with Miles Morales. I knew who he was, but I love him in this movie. I hope the next one we get more of him. I don't want him upstaged by too many other characters. I want like a real story focused on him, the relationship with dad with his uncle, even with Gwen and with older Peter Parker. I don't know. It all works. Uh,
It did what the new one did. Far From Home did, and it did it first. So
well, it did. You mean No Way Home? Yeah, yeah, No Way Home. It did, and again, I
it's
think No Way
chaotic.
Home is a lot of fun, but I think this one is just a little tighter, and um, I just think the emotional beats in Spider-Verse hit a little harder, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, because here's the thing about No Way Home that bugged me. Peter destroys basically the fabric of the universe because he and his friends didn't get into their first choice college. And I'm like, dude, there's community college. Also, you don't need to go to college. Like, they know you're Spider-Man now. Just be a superhero. Like, get some grant from the government, get some inheritance from Tony Stark. Like, oh, we got to go to Yale. Like, somewhere between Yale and nothing. All right.
Well, for me, I feel like yeah, it's kind of a silly plot point, but for me, for the Spider-Man that they were building with this reboot,
Yeah.
it goes along with like how I was saying he kind of knew he was a superhero, but was taking for granted exactly what that meant. He just kind of
That's
took it
true.
more like I have access to all this mystical power and all these cool people, and I'm basically in the VIP club of gods. So I can ask Doctor Strange to
Mhm.
go back in time so we can retake the exams correctly, and like, but that's not what you're supposed to use access to that kind of power and those kind of connections for. And this was the biggest
Yeah.
um, lesson and biggest problem he made for himself, and the biggest obstacle he had to conquer as a hero, and now he completely hit the reset button on like his personal relationships, on all the distractions. Like he doesn't even have his own family member, his lone family member he has. Like now he only has the identity of Spider-Man. So like it's gonna be interesting to see how he goes forward. But yeah, it is a very spoiled, very childish way to get in that predicament. I will agree.
But he is a kid. But
yeah, that's what the kind of Spider-Man that they're portraying. Like, yeah, he has a lot of great potential, but doesn't get the great responsibility, great power part yet. Like, he has it. But
and I know people are like, well, like 18, 19-year-olds aren't kids, but like as you get older and back, you really do realize, no, I was like a dumb kid back then.
And like we said earlier, like he had the other Spider-Man, he's the only hero in that universe. Like Doctor Strange is clearly more powerful than him, except in the little scene where he gets the better of him in that dimensional fight. But on any day he could split him in half if he wanted to. The Hulk, like all these other heroes that we don't necessarily need Spider-Man. Exactly, but yeah,
exactly, and he's just figuring it out. And you know, to bring it back to Spider-Verse, Tim, did you have something to say?
I mean, it's been classic enough to come up on the podcast a couple of times already. We've talked about it. It's groundbreaking with animation. It's groundbreaking with its storytelling. You know,
one of the very few to take the Disney crown away.
At the Oscars, it won.
We could see a new Spider-Man trilogy out of this. Could this be the next Spider-Man trilogy?
Well, I think this is if Sony wants to stay in the Spider-Man world and the Spider-Man property, I feel like this should be and probably was the compromise. Because I know Venom is featured at the end of No Way Home, so he's probably going to maneuver over into the Marvel universe. So they're probably like, I don't know, some like, here, give us Venom, and you can keep Miles Morales and do what you want with that. And I feel like that's a good trade. I feel like I feel like Sony should just let Venom be taken control by Marvel. All the real life shit should be controlled by Marvel, and anything they want to do with Spider-Man should be animated like this. They should make an animated Venom, even if they want to take it that way. But I think whatever Sony's doing with their animation department's great, and they should keep working and developing this world.
Yeah, I agree because it's got multiverse stuff, so it could connect if it wants to, but it can still be self-contained.
Yeah, and they have so many characters. We can go classic Peter Parker's origin. We can go Gwen Stacy. We can, we don't have to. You don't have to touch the real life shit no more because you guys suck at it. Just stick with the animation.
I agree. Let Marvel stop trying to be them. You know, heard they're making another Spider-Man. I was at this convention and I was talking to a guy who worked at Sony, and we were kind of talking, and I was like, hey, this new Spider-Man, are you guys really going to make another Spider-Man? Because at the time, Sony had announced all these Spider-Man related projects that never happened. They were like, oh, we're going to make a Sinister Six movie. We're going to make an A movie even at one point. Like, they were just literally just saying anything. And I said, are they really going to do an animated Spider-Man movie when all this Spider-Man already? And the guy goes, hey, trust me, we're working on it. It's going to be really tight. Like, it's really cool. And I was like, really? He said, yeah. He goes, trust me, it's nothing like you've seen before. And he was right. He was right.
That he was shitting on you. He was like, we're about to win the Oscars with this shit.
Shut up.
My camera died, but it's all good. Because it's at the end of the episode, bro. And this is the first tier list that nothing fell bottom tier. And that's because of you, Soul. That's all because of you.
Poop in the Spider-Verse.
There's not one thing that's absolute horse poop in the Spider-Verse. Background noise, maybe, but that's not too bad. Every movie's technically background noise. It depends if you just start staring at it or not.
Here's the thing. 2 gets demoted because it has that stupid Philip Phillips song sequence. Remember where he's like doing the montage, like looking into his dad, and it's like, for you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it gets
I completely forgot about that shit.
That's why it's at the bottom.
I completely forgot about why that song out of all the songs.
Because it was a hit at the time.
It was. That was the only
inescapable.
reason. That was crazy. For you. Oh my god. We gotta stop the episode now before I get pissed. Well, so this was Koala Bear Gang. I'm Josh. Got the link tree in the description.
I'm Tim. I guess you could call me Spiderman No Way Home because I've been evicted. And my Twitter links are in the description, and also disassembled remix. Sorry. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
I'm Dom or Domcell on Instagram. You can find my links in there as well. You can comic Emmy the Robot. If you want to see my art, you can follow me on Twitter or Instagram.
And that's a wrap, motherfuckers.
Definitive list.
Definitive list. Give your
All the
bitch a
Spidermans.
kiss.